Our final inductee tonight is Dr. Ken Hutcherson.
Ken Hutcherson. Hutcherson began his football career at Anniston High School, where he played fullback on offense and linebacker on defense. In 1969, his senior season at Anniston, he scored the winning touchdown in Anniston's homecoming comeback win over Talladega and helped the Bulldogs to their best finish in 4 years. That year, Hutcherson was first-team All-County as a linebacker. He was chosen to play in the Alabama High School Athletic Association's North-South All-Star game after his senior season at Anniston and served as a team captain. From Anniston, Hutcherson went to Livingston University, now the University of West Alabama, where he made his presence felt almost immediately. In 1971, his sophomore season, Livingston won the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, NAIA, National Football Championship. Hutcherson was a starter at linebacker and led the Tigers in tackles in their semifinal win over West Liberty. While at Livingston, Hutcherson was named All-Gulf-South Conference and All-Alabama Small College in both 1972 and 1973. In 1972, he was one of 2 unanimous All-Conference choices and was voted Gulf South Defensive Player of the Year. He was a first-team NAIA All-American in 1972, averaging 12 solo tackles and 9 assists per game. Hutcherson was an honorable mention All-American in 1973. After completing his college career, he played in the 1973 Senior Bowl. Hutcherson was a 4th-round draft pick by the Dallas Cowboys in the 1974 National Football League draft. That fall, he played in all 14 games for the Cowboys as a reserve linebacker. With the San Diego Chargers in 1975, injuries limited him to 8 games. The Seattle Seahawks drafted Hutcherson in the 1976 expansion draft. He was projected to start at linebacker until a knee injury in the Seahawks' final preseason game ended his football career. Hutcherson was named the Livingston University Player of the Decade for the 1970s and was inducted into the University of West Alabama Hall of Fame in 1985.
Please join the Board of Directors of the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame in welcoming Dr. Ken Hutcherson to the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame.
There are no words that you can ever say that can express the emotion, feelings of success, the friends, the coaches, the family that is with us this evening. It has been a long road of struggles, been a long road of failure, been a long road of successes. And when I was coming here, I thought for the first time, Jesus Christ could be wrong. He said, a prophet has no honor in his own hometown. And up until last night, that statement had been proven wrong until I looked into the Anderson Star, where there was half a page, Ken Hutcherson, but it was my teammate in the picture. So again, Jesus, I submit to your honesty. And to the Anderson Star, you stink. I am so excited about being able to be honored with all of you. That is a privilege that is hard to explain, it's hard to express, and will never be really given in words. My greatest honor is because of my family, my mother. I was an illegitimate child. And if I was born in a world today, I would probably have been aborted. My mother turned 15, July 6, 1952, and I was born July 14, July 14, 1952. Everyone says, if you keep this child, your life will probably be messed up. My grandmother had a different idea. And she made my mother raise this big old horse. I was almost 12 pounds when I was born to a 15-year-old. And your response was the same one my mom had. She never had another child. I am the only child born totally in a society, in a family, in a country, in a city where there was absolutely nothing that was supposed to be good for me. I was born in Anderson, Alabama, where it was one of the most prejudiced places you could ever think about when I was born in 1952. I wasn't supposed to be successful. I was born to a poor family, illegitimate, where there was absolutely, by all the psychologists, no way I should have been successful. I was born to an alcoholic grandparent who my mom and I lived with, who came home every weekend, and we fought like cats and dogs. And my uncle and my aunts, well, sometimes had to wrestle him down and tie him up and put him in bed just so that there could be some peace in our home. With that type of psychological identity, with that type of express and stress on a young man, there's absolutely no way in our society today that says that young man coming out of that dysfunctional home. But you know what? I never knew I was in a dysfunctional home. I never knew that I wasn't loved. I never knew that I didn't have a grandparent who loved Jesus Christ so much and would pray. And I heard her say over and over again, I married him for better or for worse. Right now, it just happens to be worse. And my grandmother laid the foundation of a young man who thought that life was crazy, and living in Alabama as a black person was absolutely the worst thing that a God could ever do. Until I met Jesus Christ personally, my senior year in high school. Now, my high school coach, Coach John O'Linga, and Murray Trimmer, was the first examples of what I thought when I first started in high school ball, as someone that was full of excellence. My coach loved me. I know it wasn't easy for him, but he loved me. He showed me the examples of sticking to it, believing that you can win regardless of the odds. You stick to it, you will make it. And I don't know if you know who Coach John O'Linga was, but he was the reason for the great quarterback. He was the center for Joe Namath at the University of Alabama. And he came and became the center of a father in my life in high school. I left there and went to Livingston University at the time, and my coach tonight is here. Jim King. And in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 1 and 2, it says, since you are encompassed by such a great crowd of witnesses, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that because of my teammates that are here tonight, who helped me become the All-American that I am, and I was, the coaches that is here tonight, that was my witnesses. To the other inductees and the other winners, who is my witnesses. And you, I promise, watch us, for we are not finished on being and making you proud of who we are. For I believe that God has a great work for us still. And the state of Alabama, I promise you, if God keeps me on this earth long enough, you will see and experience what one man, overriding all that God has done, out of all the negative circumstances, out of all the instances that have come in my life that gave me the opportunity to give up. But Jesus Christ helped me to stay focused and to stay forward. And one man, Don Sprayberry, who had enough insight that that young man, if he could be turned around, prayed for me every day for 3 years without me knowing it. And because of he and his wife Ann, and because of young men like Jim Smith, and because of people like Betty Carr, who reached over the line and said, there's potential there. Only thing we need to do is to make sure it is loved and encouraged. And I encourage all of you, you find someone that the world says can't be successful and prove them wrong. Thank you so much.
Before I turn things over to Coach Jones and we close out the induction ceremonies this evening, a couple of people that I would like to thank personally. One, the person responsible for putting this video presentation together tonight, Mr. Matt Wilson. And also all the words that you heard on the videos, all the words that are on the plaques, and the write-up that you have in your program tonight, that is all courtesy of Mr. Joe Estep. At this time, I'll turn the program back over to Coach Jones.